If you've ever lost your voice as a music teacher, then this video's for you. Hi, I'm a music teacher and this is my life. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. In today's video, as I'm sure you can guess by the title and the intro, today we're focusing on how you can get your voice back and hopefully how to keep it. As music teachers, we are constantly demonstrating what we're looking for from our students, and especially if you're a voice teacher, this can really tire out your voice throughout the day, during rehearsals, and on top of that, there's a good chance that also if you're trying to call your students' attention to get them to pay attention to what you have to say or what you're demonstrating, you're also trying to talk over loud instruments or voices in the room. You may also be trying to deal with getting over other illnesses. I know that I was quite sick near the end of last year, and a big part of that sickness was a really heavy cough. And that heavy cough took a long time to go away, and the result is that it really damaged my voice. And it took a while to start to be able to sing again. And if I'm honest, I still have a little bit more of that to overcome. But I've come a long way through some different healthy habits, and so I hope that you find these habits helpful. If you do, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments below what strategies you use to help you get over laryngitis, and also let me know what other kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. All right, but enough said, let's start with number one. Number one for me is hydrate, and we can hydrate our voice in so many different ways. Number one is obviously through water. If you are going to go with a warm drink, tend to stick with herbal tea and honey. You want to try and minimize caffeine. Caffeinated drinks, so black tea, coffee, things like that, those are diuretics, right? So not only do they dry out our body, we need to drink more water to help offset that, it also dries out our vocal folds, and that can be really bad. So you want to try and minimize caffeine as much as possible. I've also found it very helpful to hydrate a little bit by having maybe a cup or so of water before I even start speaking in the morning if possible. So if you're able to leave, say, a glass of water or a little water bottle by your bed, that can be really helpful if you notice that your voice is a little bit sore first thing when you wake up. The second one is to speak in a comfortable register and volume. So what I mean is if your voice is a little bit tired, kind of like what I'm doing right now, this is not my full voice, but I'm speaking in a register that's comfortable, and I'm trying to speak at a volume that's also comfortable. What I'm avoiding here is whispering. And the reason for that is similar to if we're drinking coffee and tea, whispering is going to dry out our vocal folds because we are forcing air over our vocal folds to try and speak without phonating or making any sound. So the best thing that you can do instead of whispering is to try to speak in a comfortable tone and at a lower volume so that you're able to speak with as little pain or soreness as possible, right? And this also dries out the larynx. It can lead to laryngitis over time, so we want to avoid that as best as we can. The third thing I suggest is to do vocal warm-ups gradually. Now, if you're a choir director, you probably already have a set routine for your choir, but you can also warm up your voice in the morning using very gentle speaking. For example, first thing in the morning, even if you live alone, just saying a few words here and there after you've had that first sip of water to sort of loosen up the vocal folds. You don't have to go into a full vocal warm-up in the morning unless you're going to be performing that day, but it's a great idea to do a little bit of gentle speaking, even if you're only saying a few words to yourself, right? And if you are going to be performing, or also if you're a choir director, you probably already have a set routine as to what your warm-up looks like for singing. So anytime you are going to sing, make sure that you do a vocal warm-up, even if it's only a short one. I remember there was one Sunday at church that I had to fill in as a soloist for the person who was away, and I opened my mouth for the pre-service rehearsal. No sound came out. I went back to the choir room. I did a short little warm-up by myself with the piano, and by the time I had to sing, while I was also drinking water during the service when I needed to, when it came time to sing, I was able to sing what I needed to. Was it my 100% best voice? No, but I was able to sing it much more comfortably, and I got some positive feedback as to how it sounded. The fourth thing I suggest is lozenges that can really help. So if you know that you have a certain day where you have a lot more speaking or singing, for example, Thursdays are my busiest day when it comes to singing and speaking at work, What I can do is have some lozenges. Now, I know everyone has different preferences with lozenges. My favorites are the Ricola, and they're like the original recipe, but in like the round shape. So they have square Ricola lozenges in the yellow packaging, and they have like the rounded lozenges in the yellow packaging. I prefer the rounded ones because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the shape of the lozenge, maybe it's just longevity, but I notice that I can feel some of the effects immediately and it's longer lasting. I also like Cepacol, but the thing is with Cepacol is that it numbs the voice. So while the pain can go away, there aren't those like same medicinal ingredients, but I've heard from some singers that they like Cepacol because there isn't a lot of added sugar in them. So that's something to be mindful of as well. If you have different lozenges that you prefer, that's totally fine, but lozenges can help when you have those busy days. And lozenges can be a really good strategy to help avoid clearing your throat. So anytime you do the, what you're doing is, again, you're irritating your vocal folds, you're forcing air in a little bit more of an aggressive way. And even though it's not loud shouting or singing, it's still going to dry out your vocal folds, similar to if you're whispering. So whispering, throat clearing, shouting, all of those things, try to avoid all of that. And lozenges, hydrating, speaking in comfortable tone, warming up, those can all be strategies that you take. Number 5, and most people put this one as number 1, rest. So the reason why I say rest is because, of course, the less that you speak, the less that you sing, the better it is for your voice to be able to recover. It's similar to when your body needs a rest from your workout. If you take a rest day between your workouts, there's a good chance that the next time you work out, you're going to be able to come back stronger and feel more energetic. Your body won't be as sore. And the same can be said for your voice. Now, realistically speaking, as a music teacher who works 5 days a week in a school, that's really not realistic, right? So when my workday is done, the more I can rest, the better. During my prep period, I will try not to speak too much to other people unless it's essential. And on the weekends, I try to use my voice. And again, a more comfortable register. I'm trying to speak a little bit less. But life happens, right? You're going to spend time with friends or family, or maybe you have kids at home. Naturally, you're going to try and talk more and more. But if you can shorten your instructions, do those little things to rest, that can make a big difference. And the reason I put rest as 5 and not number 1 is because everyone says it's the number 1 best thing for your voice because you're not using it. But as a teacher, we all know that it's really hard to find times in your day where you can fully rest your voice. And the 6th thing on my list is to try and ease your way back into using your voice a little bit every day. Try to do it slowly and gradually after overcoming something like laryngitis or a sore throat. You don't want your first day of not having a sore throat to be the day where you sing at the top of your lungs. Now, the reason why I say this is because it's almost like physiotherapy for your voice, right? If you have, let's say, a knee injury or you just had a big surgery, physiotherapy can be a great way to help re-strengthen the muscles around the affected area so that over time, as it's recovering, it will be able to, at some point, perform either as new or better than ever. Now, I'm no physiotherapist or voice therapist, but if we apply some of those same ideas to using our voice again, right, gradually speaking a little bit more, gradually singing a little bit more can really help. And if we can give our voice the rest it needs before going back into the full swing of things, that can really help you to overcome that obstacle and recover. So maybe after that sore throat, instead of singing the first day, you just start by using some gentle speaking. You make sure you're staying hydrated, whether that's through water or also through using a humidifier. That can be a great thing as well if the air in your home is really dry. Then maybe as you start to sing, you only start with singing your warm-up. Then after that, maybe the following day, you sing your warm-up and then you start working on a new song. And then over time, you're trying to rebuild really the strength that you had in your voice so that when it comes time to perform, you'll be able to perform as best you can. And I know that as music teachers, we are talking over our students. We are trying to sing for them, demonstrate what it is we're looking for. and that can be taxing on the voice. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell to stay up to date on all of the upcoming content. And again, let me know in the comments what other kinds of videos you'd like to see, or if you have other techniques. If there are things that you do to restore your voice that have worked for you, please share them. Let's work together, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.